Now, as you already know, that NEO forms part of the provisional list of the companies to be delisted from the New York Stock Exchange. Today, we just read wonderful news of saying that, or which I believe, in my opinion, it has to make you to net take a conclusion and sell your new stock, which, by the way, is the news relating to the US regulators lending in China. Yes, you heard me that right. Today we read wonderful news of saying that US regulators have arrived in China. So this is something that we've been waiting for, and this is something that must just show you that if you sold NEO due to the news we read or received 2 days ago of saying that they are under companies that can be delisted from the New York Stock Exchange, I think you rushed. I think, sold this stock before the fat lady sings. So like I always say, it's not over until the fat lady sings, which is the exact same thing that it made me, of course, to increase my holdings on NEO yesterday, when most of the people or some of the retail investors were panicking and selling their shares, because I know for a fact that NEO, together with most of the Chinese stocks, are not going to be delisted from the New York Stock Exchange, which is why the Chinese regulators and its vice president have been giving us assurance that they are very confident that they will find a solid ground with the US regulators, and finally getting to see the US regulators being in China. I mean, to me, this is something that is going to make me, even today, also to load the boat onto this new stock, because I know that this is just showing the great progress, and it is promising that we might find it or get to see NEO in few weeks. The big news coming out and saying that these stocks won't be delisted. Now, before we get in this wonderful news we just read in broad, please know that this video is just an entertainment video, and you should not take it as a professional financial advice video. I mean, you already know by that if you've been watching videos on this channel. Now, as I always say, I'll really appreciate if you can just hit that likes button if you do enjoy the content that I'll be giving you about these latest headlines of the US regulators being in China. So, without wasting any further time, the US regulators are in China so that at least they can settle this long dispute that has been happening about those Chinese stocks which are listed in the New York Stock Exchange. So they are there to finally find a conclusion on this, which I believe it will, like I said, be wonderful news, which those that sold this NEO stock, of course, and not consider selling, not consider probably buying again today, are definitely going to regret on the big profits or big returns that, or those that are persevering throughout these headwinds that we are witnessing on NEO in the future. Now, you remember that as per my previous videos, over 80 companies were added to a provisional list, or to their provisional list, including NEO, which brings the total of the provisional list companies to be delisted to around 105, with the 23 companies which are now on the conclusion list, which, like I always said, or like I said in the previous videos, also those that are on the conclusion list, it's not over yet. They can still or they can easily still comply with the US laws and not get to see them being delisted. So this is something that I think as a retail investor you should be made aware of, or the reason why I did this video is for a fact that you know that the US regulators are now in China, regardless of us reading the articles of saying that the NEO is part of the companies to be delisted. I mean, if that list was concluded or finalized, why then are we seeing the US regulators going into China? This just has to show you that this delisting issue is not yet concluded. In fact, China is very confident, like I'm always telling you, that they will find a solid ground with the US regulators, which this is the first step, or these are some of the initial steps, that there is progress in this. And the fact that the fact that US was able to fly to China, it is something that must just show you that very soon we might be receiving positive news from both China and the US. Now, you remember that those US regulators, the first week was they're there, they're just going to be quarantined, and the following week it is when they will start working, which by then I believe that as they are working, probably we get updates on what are the latest. But like I say, I'm personally believing that it will be positive news. I believe that they will reach or find a solid ground with the Chinese stocks, so those that are listed in the New York Stock Exchange. Though we did not get the titles of the people of the regulators that arrived in China as to who are they, we know the fact that they are from PCAOB. Now, this PCAOB, we read that they also later will send a much bigger team to China, making sure that as the local auditors are auditing these companies, they can oversee and check the processes, which is something that is truly amazing. And it has to be the one that shows you, or that must show you, that there will be a light at the end of the tunnel. NIO is going to continue list in the New York Stock Exchange, and I believe that once we get that final conclusion or that statement from both China and the US saying that these companies or these Chinese stocks will remain listed in the New York Stock Exchange, I definitely think that we might even see a 30% jump of these Chinese stocks listed in the New York Stock Exchange. So please just make sure that you don't panic and sell your NIO stock, because this is a company that is just set to do very well. I mean, NIO already on the video I did just before this one, they assured us, or I discussed their assurance when they came and issue a statement of saying that they will make sure that they comply with the rules or audit rules from both the US and China. As you know, that NIO is not only listed in the New York Stock Exchange, but they are also listed in the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. So they make sure that they said that they will make sure that they comply on both the stock exchange, which is something that is truly amazing and must just keep you having the faith on this NIO stock, because this is a stock which is just set to do very well. I mean, there's so many things that I've discussed with you regarding this NIO stock, which are the ones that ought to make you to remain bullish or to remain long-term onto this NIO stock. Ignore the short-term headwinds. And like I always say, and I'll say this statement again, it's not over until the fat lady sings. And I believe that we are going to get the positive news. And those that unfortunately are spreading the rumors that it is over with NIO, those that are telling other retail investors to sell their NIO stocks, are definitely going to regret doing so, because I am very confident that NIO will remain, or together with other Chinese companies, will remain listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Do you know some of the things that could happen if all these Chinese stocks get delisted from the New York Stock Exchange? Do you know the kind of impact that will have on the US? These are some of the things that, guys, I personally believe that, or when I think of the things that could happen to the US if they delist all these Chinese stocks from the New York Stock Exchange, I just can't imagine the harm it will bring to the US, which is why, like I always say, I'm very confident that they will find or come with a solid solution that will, of course, make the US regulators to be happy. Otherwise, with all that, guys, I just thought I should just give you this quick video about the latest news we read today of the US regulators being in China. Otherwise, with all that, guys, I make tons and tons of stock market investing videos, and if you think that this video, like I said, it was amazing, please do make sure that you hit that like button, and please, like I always say, do your own due diligence so that at least you can be comfortable when you are investing into your NIO stock, so that you don't panic when you hear the feud of saying that NIO is going to be delisted or together with the other Chinese stocks. Otherwise, that's all from me, and I wish you nothing but the best in your stock market investing journey. And please do remember that to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next video, and God bless you all.